All right, hey disc golfers, welcome back to the channel. So today I'd like to talk about a couple different chopping patterns or resisting rotation patterns that we can be doing for rehab, pre and post round. Before we play, great way to warm up. Post round, great way to start enhancing and promoting recovery. These can be done as part of your off-season strength program, keep your body fluid in rotation, or these can be done in season, like I mentioned, for prehab and rehab settings. So if we're going to set up like a band chop, a banded resistant chop of some sort, you know, we would hold on kind of with two hands. Maybe we do like an overhand grip or something like this, and we pull across their body. Maybe we keep our feet flat. Maybe we rotate the back foot. Maybe we even kind of step in. There's just so many variations of this type of an exercise, holding and not resisting. We've seen in other videos. I want to talk about our grip, and I want to talk about the difference between core strength and hand speed as it relates to these chopping patterns. So, you know, when we play disc golf, we hold our hand in the backhand, right-handed backhand. Right hand, arm does a lot of different things. It extends, it flexes a little at the elbow, it's more straight. Kind of depends on who you are as a player. But the primary responsibility is in the right hand for the backhand. Same for the forehand. Again, right hand. So the left arm has some roles and responsibilities, but they're a lot different than the right hand. So when we set up our chopping patterns, okay, we can really highlight some of the different types of strength we can build and coordination we can build in that right arm and shoulder to enhance speed and power. So when I set my chop up, again, I'm going to get about shoulder width apart. I'm going to take the grip primarily in my right hand, and my left hand is going to come onto the inside. My left hand, I'm not going to clinch down hard. I'm actually going to keep that hand open. So it's really just my palm pressing a bit against my hand. And when I set up my chops, I'm about 99% right arm, left hand really is along for the ride. I can take my left arm out, and I can do that same pattern where you see my arm is really fixed at the shoulder joint, and it's my torso that's rotating to create that stretch against the band. I can keep my body rigid and do just the arm pattern, which can be really nice for developing shoulder strength and a bit of hand quickness as well. Now, when we take different types of angles with the disc, hyzers and anheimers, we put a little bit of body English into the throw. We drop the arm angle, we raise the arm angle. So we're hitting different planes, all right, or angles based on the throw style that we're looking for. All of that is adaptable into these drills. We can lower our anchor, or we can just pull more upward or more downward, all right, to start having feelings that are more similar to the throw pattern. Okay, so we just showed that outside right hand grip can be very beneficial. So if I were to turn around and do my left side, even though I'm not a left-handed disc golf athlete, I'm still going to do these patterns in both directions. I would then hold primarily with my left hand. When we come around this side, you'll see as I come, the left hand would now take the grip. The right hand would just follow in to assist, okay? So whatever direction you're rotating, you lead with that primary hand. To get back a bit deeper here, we were showing that you could just do the arm. You could, I'm going to go two hands now. We could do the traditional style chop, where I am using the arms and the trunk together, or we could just hold this arm out rigid. Don't let this angle at the shoulder change, and do some of the rotation from our trunk to our feet. And so it looks something like this, where again, this joint angle doesn't change. I rotate through the hips. My back foot rotates. I'm coming around that right hip, just like a disc golf throw. But I have a stable core and a stable shoulder. So let's start from the beginning, do a quick review. We've got a two-handed grip where we chop, and it's really focusing on a rotational adaptation or a mobile spine, mobile strength in our core. We have our arm isolation where nothing moves. Now we're stable core, and the shoulder joint is bearing the burden of the load. Again, these can be done with lots of different tempos. very quick or just lots of repetition to build up strength or warm up the shoulder joint. And then we have a stable, so that's a mobile core, first drill, stable core, mobile shoulder, second drill. You can see how we're adding layers and adding stability. Third version, we move through the lower half of the body. We stabilize the shoulder, stabilize the core. So now I don't rotate here in my trunk. I don't rotate the shoulder joint. I pivot around my right hip, letting my left heel turn and come through. Now I have a stable core, a stable shoulder, and a mobile hip. If we put all those together into a fluid athletic sequence that looks and feels like a disc golf throw, everything has to experience a small amount and a shared relationship of mobility and stability through the throw. And so we can finish with a broad pattern that ties all that together, where we sort of reach back, let the hips start to draw through, start to explode and drive that leg, and follow through the arm for a full throw. It's really, really nice. When you think about that sequence, you do your X step. Even in a standstill throw, we still kind of load back and throw. But we do our X step, and it helps that hip load. My hips are already rotating to the back side. And so the reason we need a stable core, not everything we do should be a rotation, rotation, rotation through our midline. Once that foot lands and we start to pull our pelvis through, all of the speed and power that's being generated from the hips has to translate up into our core and then across through our shoulder. And so a stable core here will allow the transfer of all of that load. If my core isn't stable, when I start to turn those hips through, there's going to be a lag in my upper body, and it's not going to ignite and transfer that force quickly through into my shoulder and my arm. An easy example to kind of conceptualize that idea would be running on pavement, running on sand. The pavement's stable. So when you drive your foot into the pavement, you get a very direct response, and we accelerate. When you drive your foot down into sand, that sand moves a little bit until it's kind of settled, and then your foot bottoms out in that little sand pit, and then you push off. We can still move in sand, but clearly, in that example, we're not nearly as powerful. Let me wrap this video up real quick and show you one other adaptation. So if we are not using bands, all of these rules still apply. Let me just get a little turn here. So if I'm going to use my cable pulley, all right, and I got a single handle on there, it's still the same setup. Everything we've talked about. I'm going to set up my rotational chopping patterns, holding with my outside hand as the primary setup. Whether it's both for the trunk, one for the shoulder, or moving patterning now into the lower body, however you do your drills, set up with that outside arm. It's going to make your grip a bit stronger on your throwing arm if you're right-handed, and it's going to set you up that really strong connection between your core and your arm. All right, y'all. Hope you find these drills helpful. If you have questions, please leave me some comments. Trying to post a video or two each week and kind of getting the ball rolling with this, so I'll do my best to get into some comments. Try to give you some feedback. If there's drills specifically you want to learn about, or different questions you have about different parts of the body, not just trunk or core, if it's wrists or ankles, neck mobility, just general questions around sport performance. If it applies to rotation, I can definitely help. Disc golf, that's what this channel is about. But if it has to do with anything sport related, injury reduction, injury rehab, strength, power, flexibility, mobility, those are all topics we'll be covering throughout the course of this channel. But leave your questions, leave your comments, let me know what you want, and look forward to seeing you soon. Play well.